Hey folks, and welcome to the first episode of the League of Legends video tutorial series, where we talk about some of the things that you can do to raise your ELO and improve your gaming experience, both in solo queue and elsewhere. This episode is going to focus on Champ Select and things you can do during Champ Select to improve your chances of winning. Next time we're going to talk about preparation for the actual game, then we're going to talk about early game, we'll do an episode on mechanics, then one on team fights, late game, and finally, morale and how you can control it. So the first thing to talk about is Flavor of the Month. We're going to talk about why it exists, what it means to you, and how you can use it to your advantage. There have always been champions that have seemed stronger than the others. Look at early Twisted Fate, Karthus, Shen, Soraka, and Morgana. When bans were first introduced to League, these champions and a few others were more often than not the targets. And through a combination of Riot stepping in and trying to nerf or buff champions as needed, and players learning how to play against these strengths, we got a changing meta. And this cycle has continued ever since, and sometimes a streamer will play a champion that no one has seen for a while, and they'll do such an amazing job that Riot will realize that, oh man, we goofed up.
All over the place, just ripping the pot, and that is a triple kill for boy.
And suddenly you see a whole lot of this champion in solo queue. You see them being banned and picked, and you see them on everyone's mind. And when you lose against them, it is the most frustrating thing in the world, because why didn't you just play Flavor of the Month? And so players will consult counter-pick guides, and they'll pick champions that are overpowered against that overpowered champion, thus changing the whole Flavor of the Month and repeating the cycle. And for the most part, no one ever changes ELO. Because the people you're playing against are the people who are also stuck in your bracket, which means that if somebody has something that works, you won't see much of them until you get to the very top. And that's the secret. The best way to do well in solo queue is to have a strategy that others can't predict. Maybe they don't know your champion as well as they might. Maybe they don't know your build. Maybe they have no idea what you're going to do against them. And that is how you're going to win. Compare the most popular champions in a given month against the champions with the highest win rate, and you'll see that they rarely overlap. And it's because while everybody else in gold and silver and bronze is trying to learn how to play Rengar because Rengar is strong right now, the guy who's really familiar with a few champions is going to know their matchups. And knowing the matchup is the absolute best way you can get an advantage before you even start the game. North America is often criticized for having a lot of one-trick ponies in high ELO play, so you don't want to go too far, but you do want to pick 3, maybe 4 champions that you feel most comfortable with across 1 or 2 roles, and you want to get familiar with that. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, but you also want to be able to play the other ones without feeding. This way you're still safe just in case your champions get banned out, they get picked, or if someone on your team is very insistent that they get to play mid or top or whatever role they really want. So knowing your soft counters isn't actually that big of a deal. You don't want to play a Garen against a Teemo, but if there's a Renekton on the other team and the internet is telling you not to play Garen against him, you probably shouldn't worry about it, because a lot of the counters and what they take into consideration deal with high-level mechanics and high-level play, and they're not the kind of things that a gold player is going to do against you. And if you don't have the option to counterpick, feel free to ban your hardest counter. They may not see it at the time, but you're doing them a favor. So that guy on your team who's playing an underpowered character or a build you've never seen before who insists it's going to work out might actually be your ticket to a free win. This is the Bloody August saying good luck.